Steven DeMoura is the Democratic candidate for the 2nd District of the Connecticut House of Representatives. Information on Steven can be found at his website, www.demora2012.com. But here are some highlights. Steven and his wife are lifelong residents of Danbury and Bethel. He is an attorney with the Danbury law firm Pinney Payne, is a member of the Danbury Bar Association, for which he has served as president. He also is an elected member of the Bethel Board of Assessment Appeals. Steven is a graduate of the University of Rhode Island with a degree in business administration and has a law degree from Quinnipiac University School of Law. So Steven, glad to have you here.
Great to be here.
And let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
What do you think you can do for Newtown residents if elected their state legislator?
Well, first off, I think I can be a voice for Newtown. I live right on the border of Dodgington, so my wife and I consider ourselves quasi-residents. We visit a lot of local establishments. And I think I could bring to Hartford a fresh perspective, family-oriented. Obviously, I have the future in mind. My wife and I are having our first child in December, so my eyes set on the future. Continue to make this place a great place to live, and certainly Newtown is the community I live in, Bethel, Newtown, and the whole of the district. So.
Yeah, I understand that you're a big that you frequent the Ferris Acres Creamery quite.
As you may very well be able to tell from my size, I do quite enjoy ice cream and food. So I do Tambiasos. I love going to ice cream, and I certainly love checking out new establishments in Newtown, Fig, and my wife and I do enjoy going to dinner every once in a while.
There you go. There you go. So what do you believe is the most significant state issue that's facing Newtown, and how do we go about addressing it?
I think that the significant issues for Newtown are also the significant issues in the state, which I think I like to say the 3 E's, the economy, education, and the environment. I think we need to make sure that we can continue to have this place be a great community. So we need to work on jobs so people can make a good living and provide for their families. Certainly we're facing a tremendous budget issue. The governor inherited per capita the greatest debt in the nation. So we have tough times ahead of us, and I want to make sure that someone in office that's willing to make tough decisions and make sure we balance this budget and look to the future so that we're not passing the buck down the hill. On education, my wife is a 2nd grade teacher, so I'm very much pro-education. I have to be, right? And I think that we need to keep teachers the assets that they are, and I think that we need to provide funding for schools. I think that education is the greatest gift that we can give our youth, give our society, so education is of utmost importance. So I will certainly, if elected, go to Hartford and advocate for our district, Newtown, Bethel, Danbury, and Reading, vigorously and make sure that I leave no stone unturned when it comes to funding for that. And the environment, clearly with my eyes set on the future and maintaining the prosperity for generations to come. I'm worried about the environment. I want to make sure that we preserve open space for active and passive use, and really in everything that we do, that we focus on making sure that we treat our environment well. So
that's great. So within those state issues, what do you believe are the critical issues within the 2nd District?
Well, funding. Really going to Hartford and making sure that there's funding available here. I mean, as the economy's gotten, as we know it to be, tough, that funding from the state's not coming. So I think my primary role as a representative and an advocate for Newtown and the district as a whole is to go up there and make sure that we're not forgotten. Hey, we're here. What can you do for us? We pay our taxes. We contribute to the state. You make sure you don't forget us. I think that's what I need to do, and that's what I need to focus on.
Sometimes Connecticut's very reliant. All of our communities are reliant on the property tax to raise revenues to fund education and to fund municipal services. Going forward, should we keep relying on the property tax like this? Are there other alternatives we should be exploring? How would you, if we didn't focus on the property tax, what other solutions would there be that you might advocate?
Right, you give me a great question. I think we have to move away from our reliance certainly on the property tax, but I do feel that it is very important because we shouldn't rely on the state for funding. It's a local way of providing for a municipality, so it's certainly something that needs to be supplemented. So again, there's some ideas, the legislation in place now that if municipalities work together and save money, that they'll be funded from the state for doing that. There's various ways that I think we can supplement that we need to look at, whether it's a sales tax increase by 1%, that 1% would go back to the municipalities in which it's being obtained, things like that. Again, leaving no stone unturned, really trying to find a way to supplement the property tax and the help for municipalities in a way that doesn't hurt us. So that's going to take vision, hard work, and I'm willing to do the work to find those avenues for the supplemental income for the municipalities.
Getting back to the three E's for a moment that you identified as kind of the big issues.
Okay.
The environment is a very important issue to a lot of people in Newtown. There's a lot of work that's being done to protect the Putatuck watershed.
Okay.
There was a pretty significant issue with both the expansion of the railroad depot here in town that could impact local watershed area and wetlands. And then also we had a United Water trying to draw water away from our reservoir up to Brookfield, which has since been kind of negotiated out with Aquarion taking over United Water. But those types of environmental issues are very important. What can the state do to help safeguard the environment for Newtown?
Right.
Is it on course, or are there some different things that you might like to see explored?
Well, I think that what I would do is try to be a bridge for the constituents, and certainly the constituents of Newtown and the state, to really to be our voice, so that they know what our concerns are from all levels and from all aspects. So I think it's really a communication thing there, to make sure that the lines of communication are open, so that we're doing what's right for the local municipality, and certainly keeping the environment in mind. So really an avenue, creating avenues there where there's a lot of people talking to the state, so that we know exactly what we want here in our district, and more specifically here in the Newtown area. So
what do you think, so getting over to the economy, I'm going to hit all these threes again because I'm interested in just exploring a little bit more. What can the state legislature do to help create a better environment that would continue to try and help get companies to expand and create more jobs?
Yes. What they're starting to do in the jobs plan, and certainly with grants and loans for small businesses. I mean, I come from a Portuguese family, obviously big culture in Danbury, which is part of the district, and some of us have moved to Newtown and Bethel and Reading, so we're all around, and a lot of them are small business owners who employ a lot of people. So I think it's the fundamental, the brick of the economy is small business. So I think the state absolutely needs to support them, whether it's incentivizing them with tax breaks, or whether it's giving them loans or grants. I mean, we need to really be innovative and figure out how we can help the local business person here in this area, because again, they create jobs, and they really help our economy. So certainly I'm pro business, and I would look for the state to do anything they could to really help businesses, small businesses in our area.
Because the other thing that affects businesses, but also it affects education, is all the mandates that come down from the state. And at some point you have to say, like, we're raising all this money to pay for mandates that the state's telling us we have to do, and there's really not a lot of discretion in terms of what we can do for paying our teachers or trying innovative new programs. How do we kind of address that type of an issue?
We got to really look into it and see how the mandates affect everything. I mean, that's something you got to go through with a fine-tooth comb, really. Again, regulation in general. There needs to be regulation. You don't want the Bernie Madoffs of the world happening again, but you also don't want it to destroy the system that's in place. So you really need to look at everything individually and specifically, and find a way to make sure that everything operates well. So again, a lot of hard work. Certainly as a young politician or a rookie politician, I'll go there. There'll be a little bit of a learning curve, but again, I'm a quick learner, and I'm up for the task, and I'm a hard-working guy. So I'll certainly put in the effort to make sure that we're doing the right things when it comes to that kind of stuff.
So to sum it all up, why should Newtown residents vote for you on Election Day?
Great question. Great question. First and foremost, because I think I'm a guy with good character. I'm an average guy. I've got a big heart. I'm a family person. I'm homegrown in this area, and I'm vested in this community, and I care about its future. I don't always think I have the right answers. I certainly don't think I'm the smartest guy in the room. I'm willing to listen to other ideas. I'm empathetic to other people's views, and I think that's the type of leader you want in Hartford, someone that will listen to everyone's viewpoint, and then in the end make a decision that's based on, you know, everything in front of me, using my heart and my mind to make the decision. And I think that's the kind of leader that we want in Hartford, and I think that's the kind of leader I can be.
You know, it's interesting that you say somebody who listens to everybody. Is there some example of something either in your legal career or as an elected official where you had to bring divergent views together to make something work that wasn't working until you get in there?
Aside from my household and arguments with my wife sometimes, which are good arguments.
Good training ground.
Exactly. Every day, really, in my profession, you know, you work adversarials and working together to come to a compromise. People on opposite sides and bringing them together and coming up to, you know, a resolution or a solution that, you know, everyone can live with. So I certainly have my practice when it comes to that, for sure.
Oh, you're going to need that if you are elected to Hartford.
I mean, say, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right?
That's right.
So.
Anyway, Steven, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.